In the year of 24, the Dodgers won their 8th World Series title. The job is finished. The Dodgers are World Series champions. Let's celebrate together live on Locked On Dodgers.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Dodger fans, this is Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, your World Series champion team every day. Thanks to our everydayers for being with us every weekday morning. Thanks to those of you who are with me live on Wednesday night, just less than an hour after the Dodgers closed out the World Series title with the crazy comeback win over the Yankees. We'll get into it. Remember, this show is free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube simply by searching for Locked On Dodgers. And please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening right now. If this is your first time with us, you picked a good time. We got some good stuff to talk about. My name is Jeff Snyder. My normal co-host is Vince. Excuse me. I am overwhelmed. Vince Samperio, but Vince is busy getting champagne poured on his nice shoes right now at Yankee Stadium. Vince and I are both lifelong Dodger fans, just like most of you. We've also both spent time covering the Dodgers in the press box and the locker room. So we bring you the smart fans' perspective on our boys in blue every weekday morning, or in this case, every Wednesday night when the Dodgers win the World Series. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. And this was the Dodgers won. The Dodgers beat the Yankees 7-6 in the craziest comeback. The Dodgers were down 5-0. They were down 3-0 after the first inning, down 5-0. Garrett Cole got into the 7th inning, allowed 0 earned runs. That's how crazy this was. And yet the Dodgers won this game because Garrett Cole allowed 5 unearned runs, only partly his fault, and although kind of all his fault. If he covers first base, the Dodgers don't score anything that inning. We'll dig into all that. And then the Dodgers mounted comebacks again. They were down 6-5, made another comeback with 2 sacrifice flies. People who love the small ball, there it is. And the Dodgers win the game. No team had ever come back from 5 runs down to clinch a World Series. I am going to try to follow along in the chat. I am by myself here tonight, as you can see, and I am going to do my best. I'm going to try to control my emotions. This is a podcast by Dodger fans for Dodger fans, and I am as emotional as all of you. I've said before, deep down inside, I feel like nobody loves the Dodgers as much as I do, but then I come do this podcast, read these chats, and I realize, crap, there's a lot of people who love the Dodgers just as much as I do. And I think that's awesome. And I love that we can love the Dodgers together. Freddie Freeman, World Series MVP, absolutely deserved it. He had one of the big hits in that whatever inning. I'm so scrambled. The inning that the Dodgers scored 5 runs, whatever that was, 4th or 5th inning, whatever it was, Freddie Freeman had a 2-run single, just running it down. The reason that I say Garrett Cole could have ended the inning, ground ball to first base by Mookie Betts with bases loaded and 2 outs. The Dodgers had bases loaded, nobody out. And then Gavin Lux and Shohei Ohtani both struck out. Garrett Cole should have been out of the inning. He gets a pretty weak grounder by Mookie Betts to Anthony Rizzo at first base. Luckily, there was enough weird spin that Rizzo felt like he needed to play back on the ball. And Garrett Cole just forgot to cover first base. So Mookie was safe with an infield single to score the first run. Then Freddie Freeman, 2-run single. Teoscar Hernandez, 2-run double. Tie game. Boom. As quick as that, with 2 outs. And, the only reason Dodgers had the bases loaded to start with was because an error by Aaron Judge and an error by Anthony Volpe. It reminded me of that inning against the Padres when Walker Buehler's pitching, when the Dodgers just decided to say, hey, what would life be like if defense didn't exist? That's what the Yankees did in this inning. And the Dodgers, just like the Padres did against Walker Buehler, the Dodgers were able to capitalize. And so you can say the Yankees gave them some gifts, but also the Dodgers had to capitalize. Freddie Freeman's hit was there. There's nothing gifty about that. It was a great bit of hitting. Teoscar Hernandez's double, great bit of hitting. So you know what? You take advantage of what you get. Later in the game, there was a catcher's interference that put Shohei Ohtani on base. Didn't end up impacting the game, but the Dodgers in that inning, they come into the inning, they're down 6-5, and they get bases loaded with no outs again with the same part of the lineup coming up. Gavin Lux, and then Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts. This time, Gavin Lux got a sacrifice fly. Huge. Then Shohei Ohtani gets on the catcher's interference, and Mookie Betts, another sacrifice fly to take the lead. And then, I don't know, I don't know how I'm going to structure this show. I don't know if I'm going to structure this show. Arginus asks, is the pillow still alive? I'm going to tell you guys a funny story about one of our everydayers. His name is Steve. I've mentioned Steve before, and his son Levi, some of my favorite people there, everydayers. And Steve took my advice about having a clutching pillow when he's stressed. Well, Steve told me today that he ruined a pillow because he was clutching a down pillow with feathers in it. And you know, with feather pillows, like when you squeeze them, like you'll feel the little ends of the feathers sticking out. Well, Steve was so stressed while he's hugging his pillow, he's subconsciously plucking feathers out of the pillow. And he said by the end of the inning, it looked like a chicken had died on his couch. I'm happy to report, Arginus, my pillow is still alive. It got a lot of work tonight. I'm still processing it. Immediately after the game ended, I got a phone call from KNX in Los Angeles because they wanted to talk to me on the radio. And I love it. I love the opportunity to talk about the Dodgers. I wanted to be celebrating with my family. And so every chance I got, like while I'm trying to be professional, talk on the radio guy, I'm like holding back tears. And my wife and all three of my kids are hugging me. My daughter, who has moved out of the house, came over. She saw that the Dodgers had made a comeback and she wanted to be here with me when the Dodgers won the World Series. So she came over. So I had my entire family here with me. They're hugging me. We're holding back tears while I'm being Mr. Professional Radio Man. And just amazing. I'm going to try to scan through this chat while we're talking because Joseph says, Jeff, can you admit now 2020 was nice and all, but never felt satisfying? I'm finally satisfied. Are you? I was always satisfied, Joseph. I understand where you're coming from. The lack of a parade. That 2020 was always completely legitimate. But the fact that they are going to get to do a parade this time definitely will being able to celebrate with each other is a big deal. And so the parade, so since Joseph said satisfying and not legitimate, satisfying, yes, this will be more satisfying because they will get to do the parade. But I felt exactly this same way in 2020. Nando, Big Papa Pump, Jeff Snyder, heck of a year. I edited Nando's comment because I don't say that HE double hockey sticks word. Thank you for dealing with my crap, but as always, go world champion Dodgers. Yay. Nando, thank you for giving me a lot of practice at dealing with crap. Fire Dave Roberts, right, Nando? Heck no. Manager of the year, manager forever, Hall of Fame manager Dave Roberts. This was Jose asks where Vince is. I mentioned at the beginning, Vince, for his day job at Bleacher Report, is covering the game. He is at Yankee Stadium with the Dodgers celebrating right now. I wish Vince could be here too, but jobs are a thing. All right. You know what? We're far enough into this. While I try to gather my thoughts, I am going to we only have one ad read today. I'll take another break to insert ads on YouTube, a little peek behind the curtain, but I'm going to read one ad right now. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to read more of your chats. We're going to talk more about this game, talk about Walker Buehler's impact on the game, which Walker Buehler had an impact on this game. How and why? We'll dig into that. So thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen, and please keep it Locked On Dodgers. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. I love sports, I love concerts, and I love comedy shows. The thing they all have in common is buying tickets, and that means the other thing they have in common is you can find the best price on Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You also have the option of turning on all-in pricing, which will show you the total prices upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. And with Game Time Guarantee, you'll always get the lowest price, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets to your favorite events with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONML. Let me try that again. LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. I'm back. Thank you again for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen. Thanks for being here with us live tonight. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB. I'm sure Sully will have a thing or two to say about the Dodgers winning the 2024 World Series with a 7-6 victory over the Yankees. Remember, you can become a Locked On Dodgers insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. We'll have a ton of content all off season long there, so be sure to check that out and join us there. Check out Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Sports Los Angeles, the two 24/7 streaming channels from the Locked On Podcast Network. And I guess next season, be sure to listen to Dodger games on Sirius XM. We're done with that for this year because baseball season is over, because the Dodgers are the World Series champions, coming back over the Yankees to win Game 5, 7-6, after being down 5-0. Let's talk about that. Jack Flaherty did not have it tonight. Flaherty gives up he walks Soto with 1 out in the first inning, 2-run homer to Judge, solo homer to Jazz Chisholm, boom, 3-0 deficit after 4 batters, and then gave up 2 more runs. The Dodgers are he gave up 1 more in the second inning. Dodgers pulled him. He didn't even get through 2 innings. Later, Ryan Brazier gave up a home run to Giancarlo Stanton. So it's 5-0 Yankees, and then the Dodgers had their big comeback. The fact that Flaherty didn't even get through 2 innings threw a wrench in things for the Dodgers, because while the Dodgers had all their high leverage guys available for this game, as was the plan, what they didn't have was any of their long relievers, because all 3 of them, Ben Casparius, Landon Knack, and Brent Honeywell, threw a lot of pitches just yesterday. So they didn't have any long relievers available. Luckily, they had a backup plan. I keep getting Hamilton songs stuck in my head. How did we know that this plan would work? We had a spy on the inside. That's right. Hercules Mulligan. In this case, it was not Hercules Mulligan. It was Walker F. Buehler, who, just like Clayton Kershaw in the 2016 NLDS, remember, Kenley Jansen had to come into that game early because the Dodgers were out of pitching. Clayton Kershaw went down to the bullpen, ended up coming in for the save. Sound familiar? Blake Trinan had to come into this game in the 7th inning. And the radio station trying to call me. Sorry, guys. I'm doing my own podcast right now. Try me later. Blake Trinan had to come in the 7th inning because the Dodgers were out of their relievers. Trinan pitched the 7th and the 8th innings. Did great. Made things a little scary in the 8th inning, but came through when the Dodgers needed him to. And then Walker Buehler comes in for the 9th inning, ground out to Anthony Volpe, and then strikes out Austin Wells. Is that his name? Something Wells. And Alex Verdugo to end the game, to end the series, to end the baseball season, to officially kick off Christmas season. The Dodgers are the World Series champions because of this comeback victory. I'm just going to scroll through this. Look, I love this. Chat is hopping right now, and I appreciate it. I am going to try to. Tim says Butane and Trinan were fire. Freddie was MVP, and the entire team played like champs. Let's go Dodgers! Absolutely. Last name, no, Lat's the name. Says, I'm an everydayer. Normally don't watch when you guys are live. You're part of my commute every morning, but today is an exception. The Los Angeles Dodgers are World Series champion. Just remember, you can still listen tomorrow on your commute. In fact, I encourage it. All of you who are with me live right now, I encourage you to listen again in the morning, watch it again tomorrow afternoon, listen again on your way home from work tomorrow, early and often. That's what I say about Locked On Dodgers. Did Walker just earn a new contract with the Dodgers? You know what? This is something we'll talk more about this in the offseason, I'm sure. But yeah, Walker Buehler I mentioned it after his start the other day. He looked a lot like classic Buehler at times. And this one, like the fact that Walker Buehler came into this game and we all felt good about that, tells you how far he's come. I don't know what the future holds for Walker Buehler. I'm back to hoping it's in a Dodger uniform. I love that guy. And for him to do this and for him to etch his name in Dodger history, he is the man standing on the mound when the Dodgers won this World Series title. The one from 2020 is one that we'd kind of rather forget at this point. Walker Buehler, guy we can be proud of. Hopefully we can remain proud of him because this was a huge moment. What a great moment for him to strike out Verdugo, who Verdugo would have loved nothing more than to ruin this for the Dodgers. And for him to strike out, it was great. Everything about this game was awesome. Which pitcher for the Dodgers got credit for the win? Winning pitcher is Blake Trinan. He was the pitcher of record when the Dodgers took the lead. That was awesome. I see a lot of people are still watching the post-game coverage. I was too. It's hard to know when to do your podcast. There's other live shows right now. I know there's the post or the locker room content, all that stuff going on. Luckily, Sportsnet LA is going to replay that for me. So I'm going to watch that when I'm done here. And I keep this to 30 minutes. And so that is, one of the great things about this podcast, one of the many, many great things about this podcast, the official podcast, as far as I'm concerned, it's the official podcast of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Trevor Graham Wilcox says he's listened since 2019, and I deserve this. Thank you, Trevor. I agree. I deserve this. We all deserve this as Dodger fans. As I've said many times, I don't love the Dodgers because they win. I want them to win because I love them. And that I know you guys feel the same way. However we all come to the Dodgers, for me, my story is my dad was 4 years old growing up in La Puente, just outside Los Angeles, when the Dodgers moved to LA in 1957 and after 1957 season. And at that point, they were big baseball fans. My grandpa grew up a Cardinals fan. He grew up in Arkansas. But as soon as the Los Angeles got a team, the Snyders became a Dodger family. And so my dad was raised in a Dodger family. Everybody except my Uncle Jim. Uncle Jim is 4 years older than my dad. He had already chosen Willie Mays as his favorite player and the Giants as his favorite team before anybody got a team in LA. Uncle Jim still is the only Giants fan in the family. Even his kids have the good sense to be Dodger fans. The Snyders are a Dodger family. We all come to it differently. I know you have your story of why you love the Dodgers. I even love bandwagon fans because everybody starts somewhere. What I hope is that the bandwagon fans will stick around because being a Dodger fan is awesome. Every single year, the Dodgers give us a chance. They put a good team on the field. They give us a lot of fun all season long, a lot of chances to hear Randy Newman sing I Love LA. And every once in a while, they put it all together in October and win the whole thing for us. What more could you ask for? It is awesome being a Dodger fan all the time, but especially right now. Parade on Friday. That's the name, says Parade on Friday. I'm hoping to be there. I've planned all along that I would be there. My plan was to hop in the car tomorrow and drive on down. As you know, I live 661 miles from Dodger Stadium. That was my plan. Family things right now might prevent that. Unfortunately, real life gets in the way sometimes. And you guys remember a couple nights ago when I had Steven Nelson on and I was talking to him about my wife's 95-year-old grandmother. Well, about 6 hours after that, she had a fall and is in rough condition right now. So I don't know yet if I am traveling down for the parade. Obviously, family comes first. I hope to be there. I'll make the decision in the morning, honestly, based on how things go tonight. So, but I am hoping to be there. I hope as many of you as possible will be at the parade because it is a wonderful thing to get to celebrate with your friends and strangers and everything else. This is a wonderful day to be a Dodger fan. I'm emotional. I'm thrilled. I'm happy. My phone is blowing up. I have dozens and dozens of text messages I haven't had a chance to even respond to yet. My brother sent me a video of the family back home in Lake Elsinore, California, celebrating the last out. Half our family is there in Elsinore, half our family is here in Utah. I know even my two brothers who live here in Utah who aren't big baseball fans, to the extent that they care about baseball, the Snyders are a Dodger family, and both of my brothers here watched the series. My brother with his 6 kids, who they're not a baseball family, they all watched it. We are a Dodger family. We love it. It is wonderful. Tim G says Fernando is smiling down on us. It's great that we'll get to do the parade on Fernando's birthday, what would have been a 64th birthday. The parallels to Kobe Bryant, like I hinted at the beginning, the 8th title in the year 24, all that job's not finished stuff. The job is finished. The Dodgers are World Series champions. I'm going to come back in a minute. This will be a short break for those of you who are live with me because I don't even have an ad to read, but we'll insert some on YouTube later. But I'll be back and I'm going to talk about some of the lessons that we learned and or didn't learn from this World Series. So thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen, and please keep it Locked On Dodgers. I am back. Thank you again for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen or your last listen here on Wednesday night. We'll see what we do in the off season, if we'll still be going live in the evenings. I assume we'll do at least some live shows. We'll be with you 5 days a week, though, all off season long. Remember to become a Locked On Dodgers Insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers, et cetera, all that stuff. Thank you guys for being here with me. I know there is a ton of Dodgers content right at this moment, and it means the world to me that so many of you are here with me right now. one of the things that I've been thinking about the last couple days is we've been hearing all these talking heads all postseason long saying, you just can't win in the postseason with only 3 starters. You just can't win with doing a bullpen game every 4th game. And it was just conventional wisdom that you can't win like this. And what we've learned is that there is no formula for how to win in the postseason, except the one formula: score more runs than your opponents do 11 times. That's the only formula. There are so many different ways to score more runs than your opponents. And the Dodgers did it every single way this postseason. This was in the Padres series, NLDS, it was the bullpen that came through. In the Mets series, it was the offense. The pitching was good. The offense won that series for the Dodgers. In this series, it was mostly the starting pitching. Even though, Jack Flaherty struggled, but like the Dodgers got up 3-0 because Flaherty, Yamamoto, and Buehler were all awesome. The bullpen was very good when they needed to be. The offense did just enough. But the Dodgers, that was the formula: score more runs than your opponents 11 times. I wish there was a repeatable formula so that the Dodgers could just show up to spring training in February and say, hey, remember that thing we did in October? Let's do that again. There's not. That's why no team has repeated as World Series champions in the last 25 years. It just doesn't happen. Somebody in the chat still saying they should have kept James Paxton. James Paxton was a bad pitcher, and then he got hurt right after they got rid of him. James Paxton is a non-factor. The Dodgers are the World Series champions. Mark says, pretty ironic that Flaherty probably won't be back, but Buehler might. Yeah, Flaherty is a free agent. They're both free agents. Flaherty will probably be in higher demand. But I don't know. I mean, Buehler, it's going to be really interesting to see how much he improved his stock this October, because like I said, it's not just the results. It's the fact that the stuff is back. The command is back. It's pretty easy to picture a team saying, you know what, I believe in Walker Buehler based on what I saw in October. Because it doesn't feel fluky. It's just, it looks like him, the natural recovery from injury and taking his time to get back into the swing of things after the second Tommy John. So I'm interested to see what happens with him. Christopher Watson said, did we learn to trust Dave Roberts? I hope so. And not blindly. Dave Roberts is fallible. Dave Roberts makes mistakes sometimes. Dave Roberts put on a masterclass this postseason. I might say that Game 4, the game the Dodgers lost, might have been Dave Roberts' best job managing, because he had the guts to stick with his plan, even knowing that he would get crucified by fans for it, which he did. And he stuck with it. And that is, imagine if the Dodgers had chased the win in Game 4 when they're down 5-1 or whatever, 5-2. Imagine if they had chased the win, even when it was 5-4. If they had said, let's get the high leverage guys in here and give our offense a chance to win this game. Dodgers only scored 4 runs that game. There's a real good chance that the Dodgers would have still lost that game and then not had enough pitching for today, or had to go to Landon Knack and Brent Honeywell today. The fact that the Dodgers, I hope we learn to trust Dave Roberts, especially, we know he's really good in the regular season at prioritizing things. And what we saw this postseason is that even within a series, Dave Roberts' goal was never to win Game 4. Dave Roberts' goal was to win the World Series. And the way he managed Game 4 is what gave them a best chance to win the World Series. And what we saw today was the Dodgers bullpen, all the high leverage arms that were ready. Yes, they made it interesting at times, but they came through. They only allowed the 1 run, and that was Ryan Brazier, the lowest leverage of the 6 high leverage guys, who gave up the home run. The other 5, the 5 guys who you would say are the Dodgers high leverage guys: Blake Trinan, Michael Kopech, Alex Vesia, Anthony Bonda, and Brusdar Graterol. They all allowed 0 runs today. Like I said, they made it interesting, but they got the job done. No, I guess Graterol did allow a run, right? Was it Graterol? Yeah, because he walked those guys. So Graterol allowed a run. But either way, they got the job done. And then Walker Buehler coming in for the save. Just crazy awesome, crazy amazing. I want to know how you guys feel in the chat. Tell me, Mark says, I hope Paxton gets a ring. He will. Paxton was a part of this World Series champion team for exactly as long as he needed to be. Tell me how you felt when it was 5-0. I wouldn't say I was confident, but I wasn't hopeless. And I was surprised. I was like, okay, get an inning here, get a couple runs back, the fact that they were able to get all 5 runs back in one inning. At that point, I was like, crap, the Dodgers are going to win this game. And even when they lost the lead, I'm like, okay, that's all right. It's 1 run. So I wasn't confident when they went down 5-0, but I was more confident than I expected myself to be. I'd be interested to hear if any of you have any thoughts in the chat, how you felt when they were down 5-0. Let's see. Jeffrey Graham says, I was crazy anxious the whole game. Yeah, especially for me, honestly, the nerves, the anxiety kicks in more once the Dodgers had the lead, because then it's on the pitching. Like, for whatever reason, I'm able to relax more when the Dodgers are chasing. Once the Dodgers went up 7-6, I'm like, crap, they have to hold this lead for 2 more innings. Blake trying it against a good part of the lineup in his second inning of work, and then Walker Buehler. Like, that's when I got stressed. That's when I started clutching the pillow really hard. Sergio says, I was really nervous around that time when they were down by 5. Craig said, I had hope when the Dodgers scored 1 run. Yeah, you know what? 1 run is the start. Always, you got to score 1 before you can score more than 1. Hashtag math. I got Dan Carmichael says, I got scared and listened on the radio driving home. That's the name. Said, I didn't feel like it was out of reach when it was 5-0. Was more worried about the last 3 outs. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. Which is, Mark says, which is more salty right now, leftover peanuts at the ballpark or Alex Verdugo? Thumb says, I left the room. My daughter had to update me until I came back. I found out my brother. So my brother lives just about a mile from my parents' house. And my parents have the Spectrum channel and he doesn't. And so he watches the games at their house, and he left when they were down 3-0 or 5-0 and came back after they took the lead back. So he when he left, he said, see y'all at game 6. So he was not confident the Dodgers were going to come back. I don't know if any of us were confident, but I like I said, I was less unconfident than I expected to be. If you want to do a double negative. Oh my gosh, guys, the Dodgers are World Series champions. This is an amazing feeling, a wonderful feeling, a thing that we will always remember. There's no better feeling as a sports fan. And like I've said, baseball and the Dodgers are the most important, unimportant thing in my life. In the grand scheme of things, baseball and the Dodgers do not matter. But when we devote this much time to the Dodgers, to baseball, it feels really good to have it pay off like this. We got a classic series. We got game 1 with Freddie Freeman's historic grand slam that now really does get right up there with Kirk Gibson's home run, because like Gibson's, it led to a Dodgers World Series victory. Unlike Gibson, Freddie Freeman continued to play and won the World Series MVP. Kirk Gibson's home run, that was his only at bat of that series. This is, so that game was classic. This game was classic. Game 5. The Yankees even won a game. So for the whiners who were like, this series has been a dud, I don't care. I want the Dodgers to win it. I don't care if the games are good or not. This one, though, like I said, after the fact, I can appreciate that was a good game. I would have much rather had the Dodgers win 11-0 today. But now that they won the game, I can look back and say, that was pretty darn cool how everything happened. Just looking at the chat one last time, I'm about done here. Like I said, 30 minutes so you can listen again on your commute tomorrow. But you know what? We'll be talking to you again tomorrow. We'll have plenty of time to talk. So just digging through, Jeffrey Graham says those 5th inning blunders were unreal. They really were. It was crazy. Like, Aaron Judge finally breaks out offensively and then makes an error that leads to a 5-run rally that costs them the game. Just wild. Mike says, I had blind trust. I knew it deep down, could only watch the last inning. I get that. It's hard to watch. Verdugo being the last out was kind of poetic for sure. Freeman didn't break consecutive World Series home run record. Yes, he did. Freeman got a home run in 6 straight games. The previous record was 5. That is the good news. He bumped Cheaty McTrashcan out of the record books. Freddie Freeman is alone for most consecutive World Series games with the home run. That's about it. I'm about done. Thank you all for being here with me. This was awesome. It's been a great season. It's going to be a great off season. That now the Dodgers get to the work of building next year's team. They have a lot of it together, but there's going to be a lot of excitement. We get to hear a happy Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts press conference rather than the depressing ones we've gotten the last couple of years. So everything about this is wonderful, including all of you being here with me live. I know there's a lot of Dodger content right now. I appreciate you spending 31 minutes with me this evening. Thank you for that. Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen every weekday morning. Go beyond the podcast and become a Locked On Dodgers insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. Be sure to check out Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Sports Los Angeles over on YouTube. Check out Locked On MLB, hosted by Paul Francis Sullivan. I think that's it. Thank you. And as always, we will be with you tomorrow. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Locked On Dodgers. Vince is on Twitter at VinceSense91. I'm on Twitter at Snydog. DMs are open in both of those places. You can also email us, lockedondodgers@gmail.com, or send us a voicemail or a text message to 323-863-LOCK, 5625. We are here every weekday morning, and we hope you'll be here with us when you get in your car or sit on your couch. Tell your smart device to play podcast, Locked On Dodgers. And remember, you don't have to agree. You just have to listen. Go Dodgers. We'll talk to you tomorrow.